Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is a T-34-100, a Tier 7 Czechoslovakia medium tank. It's located on the northwest spawn of Mountain Pass and it's under the command of General Anonymous. Now this tank does have a 100mm gun and it's based on the T-34-85. In fact, there's quite an interesting history behind the whole manufacture of this tank and other arms in Czechoslovakia, because during the war they were manufacturing German material, but after they swapped one dictator for another, the one located in Moscow, the Czechs decided, well, they had to manufacture Soviet equipment instead, and that's why they started manufacturing the T-34-85. I think that 5916 got in too deep. He did go in there to try and spot, but he's pulling back because he got spotted himself. In fact, I think it's that Chaffee that's persuaded him to leave the area. Well, as I said, it's a 100mm gun on this tank, which is capable of doing 250 alpha, and it will... Oh, got a shot into that Chaffee for 215. That's a high roll. Yes, it's capable of penetrating 175mm of armor with standard rounds, and with the heat rounds it will go up to 250mm. And he's got some HE rounds as well for 330 hit points, 50mm penetration. Okay, some nice targets across the way. Puts a round into the enemy T-34-100. But he was seen, so he has to remain here just for the moment. Goes for the Chaffee, misses his chance. Well, getting back to the T-34, what happened was they set up a factory in Sokolovo. It's the CKD plant, and a lot of parts and equipment was imported from the Soviet Union so they could start manufacturing T-34-85s. And the first one ran off the production line in September 1951. And they built 8 in the following month, and most of these tanks were actually built from parts that were sent from the Soviet Union and a few parts that were sourced locally. And although to start with the plant wasn't very successful, they started getting even more successful, because after all the Czechs had a long experience of manufacturing arms for the Germans, and they were actually quite successful at generating really good equipment. In fact, the equipment that the Czechs built was actually better quality than the ones that were built in the Soviet Union. And in the end they started exporting these tanks. They sent 820 of them to Egypt, 120 went to Syria, and 100 went to Cuba. So you can see Czechoslovakia became a major arms exporter around the world. Now, during 1951 to 1956, they manufactured 2,736 T-34-85s, but they weren't particularly happy about the 85mm gun. They just felt they didn't have enough penetration, and they wanted to fit a better gun, a 100mm gun, and that's where Konštrukta came in. They were the ones who were designated to handle the project of actually fitting a 100mm gun into a T-34-85 turret so they could operate with much better performance. Oh, he's just spotted that T-25-2, and the T-25-2 saw him and tried to snap in his direction. Now he might just get a shot in, but yeah, that's a 90mm round coming back. Unfortunately, the results for the T-34-100 were not that great. They weren't that good, and the reason was that if you're trying to squeeze a 100mm gun into a T-34-85 turret, you don't have much space for the loader or for the ammunition for that matter. In fact, they ended up only carrying 6 rounds in the turret because that's all they could squeeze in. And you can imagine if you fire just 6 rounds and then you've got to start pulling rounds up from inside the hull to operate the gun, that slows down your efficiency a lot. Well, we're not slowing down General Anonymous at all, because he's got 4 kills now. 2 really good kills as well. Yeah, he took out the enemy T-34-100. And you also got that T-25 too. And a Panzer IV-H. Now, what else can you get? There are 2 tanks down on the enemy at the moment. He's been spotted. Ouch! And that hurt. That was the OI. Just whacked him for 772 with an armor-piercing round. Yeah. I'm afraid that's the problem. It's basically a T-34-85 when it comes to armor. They didn't add anything to it, basically, because it had to carry extra weight anyway in terms of the extra gun, the bigger gun. And in the end, actually, the problem was the gun wasn't that good, and therefore they didn't produce it en masse. But the Czech arms manufacturing did increase, and they did export a lot of equipment around the world. So a lot of Soviet tanks that were actually seen in third world countries were actually made in Czechoslovakia. Well, he's nicely concealed behind these rocks at the moment, and I think the enemy, well, they're reluctant to make a move because they don't know where he is, or if they do know where he is, they can't get at him because these rocks are in the way, and there hasn't been any rounds coming in this direction. There's only 1 tank down on the enemy. The enemy's got 1 Arty more than them. Okay, his teammate in the AMX ELC managed to get by there without being spotted. Ah, KV-2's just across the bowl on the other side. And there's an SU-100 nearby. Oh, that was Arty, and you can see where the round landed. It was fairly close. The enemy's still got a KV-2, so that's going to be a problem to overcome. He's only got 63 hit points as well, which is not a lot. But he's already done just under 2k of damage, so he has put his effort in. I think at the moment the best thing to do is just play it defensively. Oh, there goes the Chaffee. 248 hit points off him. Nice hit. High roll. Oh, actually, that was the low roll. What am I saying? It's 250 alpha. What am I saying? Yes, it's a low roll. I think a lot of people who play the T-34-100, they initially think, oh great, so 100mm gun tier 7, it's a bit like the IS, but no, the IS has got much more armour. It's a much more stable tank really than this thing. This thing feels so weak when it comes to armour. It's only got 45mm of hull armour at the front, sides and rear. 90mm at the front of the turret, 75 and 52 at the rear. So again, not much in the way of armour. Okay, well, he's decided to move away from his position. Last time he tried to do that, he got spotted by a T-25 too, and got hold, but it looks like he's got away with it this time, but there could be a KV-2 just around that corner. He was spotted in that area. I have the feeling General Anonymous is going to try and get an ambush in and then pull back as quickly as he can, and then the AMX CLC might get it. Here he is. There he is. Okay, well, the AMX managed to get a shot into him, and from the look of it, it looks like the AMX CLC has got a 90mm gun. There's the KV-2, and he's dead. Nicely done. He didn't hesitate. I think the KV-2 did. He's hesitated for a brief moment. He gets around into the Chaffee as well. He's got a reload of 7.17 seconds. Book reload is 8.15. Ah, the SU-100's come up the ice road and he's behind the M44, and it looks like the M44's toast because, yeah, it depends on if that SU-100's got the 122, and yeah, he's taken out our M44. trouble is that if General Anonymous abandons this position to go get the SU-100, the Chaffee will probably try to shoot him in the rear. And the SU-100's now got up on top of the ramp. I think he's decided he's going to go. Didn't go into the bowl. He's decided... Oh, and there's one of the enemy Arties. It's a Fifi. He stopped to take a shot. Long range shot. Good hit. 223. So one shot now. The Fifi still rolling. Tries the second shot and gets the kill. That's his Top Gun. Now, the SU-100 managed to kill our AMX CLC, or at least he's died. Which means now General Anonymous is all alone, and the SU-100 managed to get him from that sniping position. And the game is over. Oh dear. And here's the end of battle stats for that battle. And it was a first ace tanker for General Anonymous in the Konštrukta T-34-100. He also managed to get his fight for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. His first mark of excellence from the game. A bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 7, and he got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills in the game. His win rate for the battle, 9,695. So super Unicum standard, but sadly it was a defeat at the end. If we look at the team score, we can see that he did get the highest damage with 2,979 hit points. The next high scorer was the KV2 with 2,183, followed by their OI with 2,012. When it came to kills, he had the highest number with 6, the next highest scorer being that SU-100 that killed him with 4 kills. 2 kills to the M44, the T1 Heavy, the KV2 on the enemy team, the T-35-2 and the KV-122 on their team as well. And when it came to base XP, it's the enemy team who did the best there. KV2 got 885, then it's General Anonymous with 794, followed by the OI with 693. So not bad. He was second on base XP, but sadly he did die after getting the high caliber and a Top Gun. So bit of a heartbreak, but yes, he did very well. If we look at the detail, we can see he fired 19 rounds, got 16 direct hits and 15 penetrations, damage of 2,979 hit points, of which 1,340 were at more than 300 meters. Those are the shots he took across the bowl. 4 hits received from the enemy, 2 penetrations, 1 non-penetration, and 2 hits by way of splash damage as well. One of the penetrations was that big hit that he took from the OI, which was an armor penetrating round. The other one, of course, was from the SU-100 rather, which did finish him off at the end. He just lost too many hit points from those lucky shots the enemy got, plus of course the shot that came in from the T-25-2 in the 90mm round. So yes, he received 2 hits by way of splash damage, 110 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, and 346 hit points of damage assistance. On a free-to-play account, he earned 27,636 credits, got 4,476 for completing the mission and events. I think that's holiday ops. 3,233 for courageous resistance. That's because he got 2 battle hero medals in a losing or drawn game. Total of 35,345 credits altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 7,944 credits profit. 794 base XP, 442 for courageous resistance, took away 1,236 experience points altogether. So the Konštrukta, it's a bit of a disappointment, but obviously General Anonymous made it pay. In fact, the fact that he's got his first mark of excellence means that he has been playing it quite a bit to get to this level. But mind you, this is his first ace tanker. You've got the scrolls, so it is the first time. And yeah, as a tank, it's a bit of a disappointment, a bit of a letdown. You'd think a little tank like this, light tank, would probably be zooming around the battlefield, hitting enemy tanks for quite a few hit points every time it fired. But as it is, the long reload, plus the fact that it's got virtually no armor or very negligible armor, just standard T-34-85 armor, makes it it's a bit over. It's a tier 2 high, I should say. It's more akin to its T-34-85 brother, which is a tier 6 premium, and this is tier 7, so it's going to meet tier 9 tanks, and it's having difficulty trying to take those guys on. So yeah, a bit of a letdown, but nice game by General Anonymous. If you enjoyed that replay, Please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithms and gets this video watched by other people, and thank you for watching.